start wholesaling houses part-time. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start wholesaling houses part-time. So I know everybody wants to go start wholesaling houses on a full-time basis, but a lot of us, especially me, even Rick, started out wholesaling when we had a regular job and other duties and everything like that, wholesaling real estate. So what I want to do today is give you an action plan guide. If you are starting out in real estate wholesaling and you can't jump into it full time, no big deal. I feel like every wholesaler should honestly be part-time in there. I'm not the biggest fan of jumping ship and then going all out into wholesaling real estate. Why not really having a backup plan at all? You can honestly treat wholesaling real estate like a side hustle and have a ton of success and then transition to full-time when you can scale up the business for massive success. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly my part-time guide schedule. There are different types of part-time, and I do want to break down how those work and which one you should be doing in a real estate wholesaling business so you know exactly what you should be doing for success. Before we break it down, do me a big favor and smash that like button and subscribe, and let's kind of break this down. So honestly, what is full-time for real estate wholesaling? I know full-time wholesalers that work 50, 60, 80 hours a week. And then I know part-time wholesalers that work 30 hours a week and they call it quote unquote part-time. I even know wholesalers that work 40 hours a week in their 9 to 5, and then they work 40 hours a week in basically more or less their 5 to 3 or like 5 to 4. They'll work 40, they'll work 7 days a week, like 5 to 10. They'll put 5 hours in every single day for 7 days, be like 35 hours. And then I know guys that work 40 hours in the job and then 40 hours in wholesaling, call it part-time because they treat their full-time job as full-time. So there's different parts of it. I would say full-time wholesaling is at least 40 hours. I know full-time guys are working 90, 100 hours. I've done that too. But what makes the definition of part-time? Now, in my personal opinion, I think part-time is roughly 5 to 10 hours a week. You know, it's really not that crazy. I mean, you used to have to be part-time in wholesaling, working 15, 20, 30 hours a week. But honestly, I could tell you that 5 to 10 hours is really what you need if you want to just get like a deal. You're working to get that first deal and maybe get that proof of concept for you working. That's honestly all you really need. If you want to start becoming successful and making like consistent deals, I would tell you as a solo operator for wholesaling real estate, you should be around 25 hours a week of work. Personally, that's where I really see a lot of the beginner wholesalers. They start actually putting the effort in and they get a lot of good results. So let me sort of break down the two tiers. So there's about 5 hours a week of work part-time, and there's like a 10 hours a week of work. I think everyone watching this should be at least able to do the 10-hour a week one. If you feel like 5 hours work for you, that's fine. You don't want to get burnt out. You just want to try it out, maybe dabble in this. That's okay too. More or less for everyone, if you say, oh, I have 0 hours a week, I can start wholesaling. I promise you, if you sleep an hour less and you cut your workout short by 15 minutes, you only need 40 minutes for working out if you really want to like get working out, quote unquote. You could find 5 hours a week. It's actually pretty simple. And I mean, I have one bodybuilder type guy told me, Zach, I have to weightlift 4 hours a day for it, and I can't wholesale. I always quote like Dorian Yates, and Dorian Yates is a bodybuilder, big steroid guy, but like he was one of the biggest bodybuilders of all time. He only worked out 45 minutes a day. So I always tell everyone, like, don't make working out an excuse. Don't make sleeping an excuse. You can always make time for this. So let's break down my 5 hours a week part-time wholesaling guide. So my 5 hours a week part-time wholesaling guide kind of consists of 5 hours. So about 2 hours pulling lists. These could be your drawing for dollars. You can drive around town. You can do reverse drawing for dollars. Your government list, your code violations, probate, water shutoff, arrest record, IRS debt lien list. It doesn't really matter what type of list this is, but it's very, very important that you actually go and pull these lists. Spend 2 hours pulling the list, going to public records, maybe going in person to the code enforcement and getting these lists out here. You can include skip tracing in this. Remember, guys, your budgets can vary on this, so sometimes it's a little different. So, yes, I get it. For most wholesalers out here, I would say about 2 extra hours for cold calling. Now, we have 4 hours and then an extra hour I would probably use for just sellers, following up, talking to sellers. Add extra time on this if you can. If you have any more free time, you got 6 hours this week, 7. Use that extra time on top of 5 hours for cash buyers. And honestly, like that's about 5 hours. It's not much, but if you keep that schedule, if you want to start dabbling in it, I don't think you can go too wrong, right? So that's really what I'm thinking, 5 hours a week, 2 hours for pulling a list, skip tracing it, 2 hours for cold calling, and then like 1 hour with your sellers. I could tell you the best hack for 5 hours a week would be doing reverse drawing for dollars, because you don't have to spend that time doing cold calling. You don't have to spend that time doing skip tracing or list pulling. You're just doing 4 hours a week of doing the sticky notes, and then that extra hour is just talking to sellers and dealing with the sellers. It's pretty much all broken up for you. That's probably where I think most of the success you're probably going to find in wholesaling real estate probably can be attributed to just that. I know some wholesalers that just don't want to do that, but I tell you, reverse drawing for dollars is really good. It is at freewholesaling.com, which is my free wholesaling course. And I really break down the whole entire real estate wholesaling process. But I know some people can't afford it. Some people don't have a car. I get it. But I can tell you is if you're roughly at 5 hours, I would probably do reverse drawing for dollars. Now, this doesn't get you out of cold calling or talking to sellers. You still got to do that. You want my whole guide, Podio, CRM, how to do everything. It is at freewholesaling.com. Last plug on that. Now, if you have like 10 hours, heck, 15, 20, 25 hours, if you're part-time, let me kind of tell you where you should be working here. So if you have the 10, let's do 10 hours. You should probably put at least 4 hours into list pulling and skip tracing. At this point, you can get a lot of government lists out here. You can definitely pull all the code violations. I recommend at this point you cold call basically the probates if you can. I would do the arrest record list. Very hard list to pull. Get a lot of success. I would reverse drive for dollars. At this point, you have more time if you're going to do reverse driving for dollars or driving for dollars, and just start doing pre-foreclosures on the reverse driving for dollars. If you don't have that crazy budget, that'll work too. I would add in 4 hours of cold calling on top of this. Now, here's the kicker, guys. If you have more time, so like, and I wouldn't say 10 hours, but like you got 15 hours. Let's say 12 hours, okay? Because I cold call 2 hours, usually once or twice a month on the channel. So if you have 12 hours, do the 10 hours for what I say, but that extra 2 hours, I recommend you use that for Zillow for sale by owners, because it's a really easy way to get your first real estate wholesaling deal. And a lot of wholesalers actually get their first deal by doing this strategy. And it's definitely one I really recommend. So I would do Zillow for sale by owners and do anything over 75 days. And I think you're going to get a lot of great results doing that. So it's definitely something I recommend. Now, that 4 hours for cold calling could be put in the Zillow for sale by owners, but I would stick to the government list if you're doing it. And then you got 2 hours dealing with sellers, building up your cash buyers list, and then any extra time, I would drive for dollars, walk for dollars. I would pull more lists, call more lists, just get in front of more sellers. I think 2 hours, an hour for sellers, an hour for buyers. I think that's enough right now for you to get a lot of success. Now, what time should be working right? So cold calling basically just got to follow TCPA law, which is basically telemarketing law, more or less, Telephone Communication Protections Act of 1992. So you can't cold call before 8 a.m. or cold call after 9 p.m. Between that time, you're pretty much fine. If you're desperate, like a 9-to-5 job, maybe on a Saturday, you work 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. twice a week. That might work too. Anytime you really can, if it's within daylight hours, I think it's fine, like for calling, driving for dollars, all that stuff. If you have time, I'd add in bandit signs in there. But honestly, like if you're starting part-time, that's what I do. And obviously, like Zach, whatever, I have 20 hours a week, I would just pour more time into finding government lists, getting skip tracing, talking to sellers, other types of marketing, basically anything I state at freewholesaling.com. I would really add in Zillow for sale by owners and reverse drawing for dollars. I think those are the two biggest hacks if you're a part-time wholesaler right now for success. Those are going to be the things I think is going to give you the best success possible starting out as a beginner in wholesaling real estate. So guys, if you got any value out of this video, do me a huge favor and smash that like button and subscribe. And do me one last favor, go to freewholesaling.com and we'll see you there soon. So guys, check it out. It's my free wholesaling course. Really appreciate it. And that's it. Have a blessed one. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.